What's the best way to level? What's the best way to farm legendaries? What's the best way to farm gold? Well, in this video, I'm going to be answering all of those questions so that you'll know exactly what you need to do when you start the game. I'll be giving away more free copies of Diablo 4 during this week's beta test, as well as the early access of the game. As a big thank you to you guys for subscribing and supporting the channel. All you have to do to have a chance to win, come follow me on Twitch and just hang out with me there. If you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you did, to help me reach my goal of 100,000 subs. So without further ado, let's begin the video. To start things off, let me give you a very quick outline of the progression path. You'll start your character and then finish the prologue, which will place you in Kjolbashad, the first major city. From here, you'll have a few options. The first is that you can choose to continue the campaign in any order you want, meaning the quest line is not linear. The second option is to focus on the horizontal content. The third option is to focus on your leveling and or gear. All three are really important, and I'm going to break them down into these three categories to really simplify it for you and keep this video as short and concise as possible. There's no wrong order of doing this, but in case you're wondering what I'm going to do, I'll share my route at the end of the video. First, we start with the campaign, which is super straightforward. Complete it in any way you want, one time, and you won't have to do it again. After completion, you'll unlock the skip campaign feature. Furthermore, completing the campaign is also one of the prereqs to unlock Nightmare World Tier 3, as well as your mount that's shared across all your characters. Don't expect gear or experience from your campaign. It's strictly for the purpose of unlocking content one time outside of an excellent story. To add some additional insight, Act 1 takes anywhere from 1 to 2 hours to complete, with pro speedrunners finishing it in under 50 minutes. Horizontal progression is a pretty broad term, but with Diablo 4, I'm referring to the renown, codex of power, and altars. Renown, which is essentially like rep in other games, is something you farm by completing horizontal content, such as discovering waypoints or altars of Lilith, strongholds, completing dungeons for the first time. All this rewards you with renown points that rewards you with extremely important permanent boosts, such as skill points, stat points, potion charges, etc. Altars of Lilith specifically give you extra permanent stat points that are applied to all your characters, extending through the seasons. Finishing all your altars before the season begins is definitely a must. When it comes to the dungeons, specific dungeons will unlock specific aspects. These aspects will be unlocked in what's called your Codex of Power. Aspects are powerful legendary effects that you can apply to your gear. The aspects you unlock in your Codex of Power can be used across all of your characters. If you have any idea on what type of build or skill you wish to play, searching for the dungeon that provides an aspect relative to that skill and completing it early on will significantly improve your efficiency with progression. This should definitely be one of the first things you do early game. The best way to help you complete this is by using this interactive map that'll show you the locations and information about everything. Link in the description. Leveling and gearing kind of go hand in hand. Let's look at some of the activities you could do in-game to progress levels, gear, and even gold. Before we do this though, two things. First, you can craft an experience potion at the Alchemist in the early game that also comes with added effects, such as thorns for example, that you could use to speed things up. Second, there's what's called a zone event in Core Dragon that periodically comes up and has a campfire buff, giving you a nice experience boost as well. Oh, I almost forgot. There is actually one more thing. Leveling in parties do provide an experience boost, so do prioritize leveling up in parties if you want to be the most efficient. Moving on, the first thing on the list are the dungeons. Dungeons may provide you with that one-time aspect unlock, but they're also the best way to level and make gold currently in the early game. Dungeons provide you with potential upgrades and legendaries from drop loot. They offer the most experience per hour and gold via NPC sales from your loot. The standout dungeons in the Fractured Peaks early game are Annika's Claim, Dead Man's Dredge, and Mercy's Reach. Note that you will need to complete the stronghold to unlock Annika's Claim. Side quests are mainly done for renown. The quests do offer some decent experience, but comparing it to the other activities per hour, it just wouldn't really match up. Some quests can be completed incredibly fast, but the likelihood of the majority of players wasting time running around would be very high. Maybe there's a min-max route that allows this to be an effective way of leveling, but until that's discovered, we're giving this a 3 out of 5 at best. In Diablo 4, you have something called events. There are a few different types of events when it comes to labels, but for the most part, these events will be available randomly in predetermined locations and can be reset by joining a different game or hopping channels by teleporting in and out. Outside of your typical loot rewards, completing these events will provide you with Murmuring Obols. This currency works the same as blood shards in Diablo 3. You take this currency to a specific vendor in town, the purveyor of curiosities, and you purchase items to have a random chance at obtaining a legendary with the effect you're looking for. There will be a max to how many obols you can hold that can be increased via renown and level. If you're farming offensive legendary aspects via this method, I'd recommend purchasing gloves as they have the greatest chance and cheapest cost for it. Gloves have a chance to give you either offensive or utility aspects. These events can be finished extremely fast and repeated over and over by resetting. The two events I recommend farming in the Fractured Peaks, should you choose to do so, would be the Radiance Field Cemetery just south of Kyovashad and Southeast Foothills, also south of Kyovashad near the Field Cemetery. That pretty much covers everything until World Tier 3. If you're wondering what my progression path is going to be, here it is. I hope you guys found that video helpful. Don't forget to come follow me on Twitch. Come hang out with me there to have a chance to win your free copy of Diablo 4. I'll see you guys in the next video.